Can everybody hear me? I'm nervous.
Now everybody's looking at you. But nobody is labeling you in any way. Everybody is totally present and allowing you to be just as you are.
Thank you. So what I still struggle with is people's perceptions. When a person says something to me that's rude or meant to hurt, instead of becoming defensive, I actually shut down and I don't say anything back. And then later on, when my ego starts getting, charged up, I start thinking, man, why didn't I say anything? And oh, now this person thinks I'm weak. And it affects me to the point where, I'm depressed or I'm concerned about just the future. Like, okay, what if this person says something to me in 2 days? Am I going to be able to, stick up for myself? So my question is two parts. How do I, or what is the appropriate response in that situation when a person is saying something rude or something that's meant to hurt? What is the appropriate response? And how do I get to a point to where after it's happened that it doesn't affect me in the way that it does?
Mm-hmm. Well, one practice is to be transparent. So this, I'm not necessarily recommending this, it depends what the situation is. If it is something that happens with a stranger or somebody who happens for just on one occasion, a stranger says something to you that is meant to hurt or is rude, or even in the traffic. Even in the traffic, it feels, if somebody tells you you're an insane idiot, you feel something inside, unless you're so alert and present that it passes through you and you just continue to look. This happened to me a few times. I drove in the many years in England. I had a very old car, and people would sometimes laugh at it. It was a Russian-made car. Well, it wasn't that old, but they laughed anyway. And so I would sometimes be at stopped at the traffic lights, and people were crossing it. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And usually, if you're in a car, you identify with. You're not just you are in your car. So if somebody laughs at your car, they laugh at the whole of you. And you have to be, that was lovely practice, to be totally empty and thoughtless and just look at them. And they looked back very disconcerted because there was no reaction. Becoming transparent to something that is offensive, or so there's nobody there to receive that remark. There's nothing where it hits you, it goes right through.
What if it's a person that you see regularly?
That's another matter. There you could also do that, but that would be the practice of 100% permanently enlightened master. And even that 100% permanently enlightened master might find that something else comes out of his or her mouth at some point. You can say something back that is strong without getting lost in the energy of it. This behavior is not acceptable. You have to be prepared, of course, to walk out if it comes to that. If there's a lot of fear of I can't walk out and I don't like to stay there. If it's your boss, for example, is it your boss?
It's not my boss.
What?
It's not my boss.
No, but other people at work.
Yes.
Yeah. So to be to clearly state something to others also requires presence, so that you're not in the grip of extreme anger and nevertheless forceful. If you're present, you can even use anger, although that's not easy. There are some situations where you can almost pretend to be angry. Sometimes you have to do it with a child who is about to do something dangerous. Don't go there, or something forceful, but not aggressive. So you can explain that I find your behavior unacceptable. I'm not going to have it anymore, or whatever words come to you, and be present. Express what you feel. But don't get drawn, don't bottle it up. If you can't be empty, it's better to say something rather than keeping it inside you and then think about it for hours, what I could have said. And then replay in your mind all the great things that you could have said to him. This probably happens to you sometimes.
All the time.
So, and maybe one or two of these things you can actually say one of these days, and allow yourself to express what you feel. If it is not your boss, then is it several people who do that, or mainly one?
Mainly one.
And does that person also do it to others?
Yes and no. I mean, it depends on the person. Maybe one other person.
Yes. And of course, some of these people are very unhappy. That's why they need to externalize their unhappiness and trying to make somebody else unhappy. Mm-hmm. So at the same time as you speak, you have to realize you're dealing with somebody who is unconscious and probably in some form of suffering. Often it's the case if children who are bullies often experience very unpleasant home environment, and so all their frustrations they then come out when they are with other children. And some people carry that energy for the rest of their lives. They're continuously angry with others, and they choose the easiest targets to express really their suffering and they people with heavy pain bodies. The pain body wants others also to be in pain. It says it wants the other person to be in pain, or also to give me pain back. They might even want the drama. But often you can stop people like that just by one or two very clear remarks. Talk to them. I was sometimes bullied at school, being physically relatively weak. I couldn't fight back. Well, I probably could have, but I didn't. Except for on one occasion, when somebody pushed me down the stairs and I fell. And that was the most respected, dangerous student at the school. He was only 8, but but everybody was afraid of him. And at that moment I turned around and started hitting him, and he left me alone after that. I got bullied by others, but the worst one left me alone. But don't hit your... whatever you do, presence is necessary. Sometimes you may also able to just turn it around by on to him or her by some comment that they make about you. You can turn it around, see what comes to you spontaneously. But presence can be very forceful too. Presence is not necessarily a passive state. So be as present as you can at work, and people's behavior may even change without you doing anything. The sort of presence. Right, spontaneous action comes out of that also. So access that state at work and then see what action comes to you. So, in general terms, if it's any other place where it happens, a stranger does it or whatever, it's great practice to not be there as a target. Complete non-reaction. This case is different because it happens frequently. So let me know how it goes.
Okay. Thank you.